Hey, my antisocial butterflies, welcome back. Today with me, I have Sean Kinsey reporting from Philly. What's up, man? How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you taking some time to chat with me.
I appreciate you, honestly, for even reaching out because I was caught off guard by it. But, thank you so much for, for allowing me to even tell my story. So thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Now, were you caught off guard in a good way or a bad way? Like, ooh, I don't
Good
want to
way.
interview. No, just kidding. Do you
A
get
good way.
interviewed often, or are you more just like
Um,
on the quiet
I've,
side? Like, my art will
I've
speak for.
done I've done about maybe 4 podcast shows. That's about it. But I'm like usually on the move, and I'm not saying I'm not talkative, but I'm not talkative. Put it that way.
You're also
Yeah,
antisocial like me, right? Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. So, but I sense good energy. So
Good.
that's
So
it.
here you are.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I'm
Yeah.
so excited to hear about your story, and I've checked out your amazing, amazing artwork on Instagram. So I want to know more about it. So I got my whole like sparkly notebook full of
Ooh, that was good.
questions. I know
Awesome.
this is like all of my interviews I've ever done. Like, yeah,
Wow,
crazy.
wow, the
This
golden
is
book,
like
huh?
the Bible of the antisocial social. And then actually I'm using my niece's what was she making? Something for Spanish class, and it's written all in Spanish, but it's a post-it. Oh, you can't even see it because of the light, but
Wow,
a post-it note of random
that's
Spanish.
crazy.
So
Wow.
that is like my fake bookmark for right now, but it's all right. But yeah, tell me about you, Sean. This is our first time meeting. I need to know all
Yeah,
of like the vital info.
everything about me basically.
Yes, starting with your social security number.
No, I can't do that. But Sean Kinsey, Philadelphia born and raised. I pretty much was a basketball player all my life, but I can always draw and like things of that nature. And I love the arts, like love fashion and everything that has to do with art. But coming from where like I come from, it's frowned upon, kind of you could say. It's not like the cool thing to do. But here I am now doing what I love. So it's been just been a great journey for me, and I have not looked back. So
So how'd you get started? Because you said you've always been drawing. So this is something from your youth. Is it something you kind of got started later in life? Like where was that kind of starting point for you that you're like, oh, I'm
yeah.
actually pretty good at doing this?
So later in life, fast forward to when I realized I actually like wanted to paint. Uh, my fiance, her mom had a paint with the twist event for her birthday. So we went, and I ended up painting something. I believe it was the Eiffel Tower or something like that. But I painted mine's kind of like differently, and so they were like, "Wow, you're really good at this," like blah blah blah. So after that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to start doing this like from now on. And long story short, fast forward 5 years later, I have my LLC, Sean Kinsey Art. I've done tons of murals, curate my own art shows. I sell merchandise, doing great things. Honestly, it's like so much to tell. But since then, like that was the kickoff. So that helped me, with that spark of like, all right, you know, you should have been doing this, but now let's just start, while you're here at the age of 29, I
That's
believe. So
incredible. So we
yeah,
have to thank your mother-in-law for actually inviting you to a paint night where you probably
yeah,
wouldn't have gone otherwise, right?
at all. Right.
So shout out to her.
Shout out to her, seriously. So
That's
yeah.
incredible. So, yeah, I mean, I was checking out your artwork, and you have very diverse, bright, vibrant, amazing colors. So is that like kind of like what speaks to your soul? Like I want to get to kind of know like how you move with your art because you know, you have really like, definitely when I saw your paintings, I'm like, I feel like there's Basquiat inspiration here in a
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
But I kind of want to know like what your style is, what you're passionate about in terms of like creating your art, because yeah, you started with an Eiffel Tower because somebody made you paint that, right? But
Mhm.
now you have like free reign because you're going to do anything that you want on
Yeah.
campus or on a wall. So,
Mhm. Um, how I paint, pretty much, I just paint how I feel. Uh, I love using those bright, like vibrant colors because I'm not really, how can I say it? You know, I'm not really a dark thinking person. So I tend to use bright colors because I'm, just thinking like positive things and, things about love and it's like your future and, just doing like good positive things. So that's what I incorporate my artwork with a lot, with wherever I paint. So, because it brings joy to someone else, you know what I'm saying? And it, I personally feel like it relates to everyone, I don't care if you're black, white, brown, purple, you know what I mean? It's like male, female, young or old. I want to be able to touch everyone in every positive way, that I can. So that's my whole focus on my artwork, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, I feel like I'm jumping back and forth because I'm like, tell me about your early years. Tell me about
That's
now,
fine.
you know.
That's cool.
But I mean, I just mentioned quickly before we started recording, but about Vision 22. So I want to hear, you know, I heard kind of like, hey, mother-in-law invited you, but then you
Mm-hmm.
got the inspiration and like really started putting your work into play. So, you
Right.
know, talk about the Vision 22 and like what that means, because I feel like that really truly is the foundation of how you got started with your art.
Yeah. So here's the foundation of it, like how it all began. So like I'm like very big and like very like big on love, and I'm very close to my mother. She's like my biggest like biggest supporter. Like besides my fiance, of course, but my mom, she's just like my biggest supporter on earth with whatever I've ever done, whether it was drawing or just like playing sports or just anything, a job, anything. So when I first started, I had a brand called Vision 22 Clothing, and I incorporated her birthday, which is the 22nd, as you can see right there, like that
Oh,
logo.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I didn't even realize you were wearing that shirt, so you just pointed
Yeah,
out.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You got to
Got
rep
to
your own
represent.
stuff while you're on here. Come
Yeah,
on.
you got to rep your own stuff, man. So when I first started that, I incorporated her birthday with my logo, and besides that, that's my favorite jersey number. I wore that number playing basketball. So, you know, with that number and using my motto, inspiration for creation. So if you spell that out, it's like that's a total of 22 letters. So
So you're
that's
like
why I got the
full
whole,
circle. Yeah.
yeah, full circle thing, with the name and the logo, and it just stuck. And I was already, in the whole, how can I say it, the whole like fashion sense of things and like how to market myself and like how to brand myself because I came up with the logo first. So that started first, and I just made sure that everything I like touched or marketed or painted, I always had this logo involved. So people had asked me like, what's the 22 stand for? And I always tell them like, oh wow, that's amazing. So I always make sure I represent my mom. She's like my biggest inspiration. She's my heart.
She's
Shout
your
out to my
muse in a
yeah,
sense.
my muse, man. So thanks to her. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a really good support system, which is nice. So,
great support system. Yeah.
yeah, even though you mentioned it's kind of like discouraged in the community, right? Like that's not the cool thing to
Mm-hmm.
do is become an artist. I feel like the people that you do have in your corner are really, really supportive about where you're going on your path.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're really the only people that matter.
Right.
Of course you want to sell your paintings and your
Yeah.
merchandise and all that stuff, so of course the
Yeah.
consumer matters, but
Right.
just to wake up every day and be like, yeah, I'm going to exercise my passion and do this because I believe in myself and these people believe in me too,
Right.
I think is like invaluable.
Absolutely. And I feel like I'm also just like changing people's mindsets, like showing, people from different areas and so where I come from that art is cool, it's like been around for years, for centuries. And it's like this is a thing. And it's okay to like be yourself and be creative and have fun while you're doing it. So that was my whole goal. And I also am like very big on just like being some sort of motivation for kids. 'Cause, nowadays, like kids get bullied a lot, for doing things that aren't, like the norm, or doing things that's different, or just being like geniuses. You know what I'm saying? So my biggest like goal, honestly, is to just have a some sort of like center, or like at the school program where kids of all like ages, from from scientists to artists to painters, like to kids who are just those individuals who stand out, you know who don't get looked at, on an everyday basis as that normal kid. You know what I mean? And just have them all together and just create, just be themselves, and just be creative. You know what I'm saying? So that's like one of my main goals, and that's why I actually do what I do and how I paint, because I feel like I'm being myself, and I'm it's like not afraid to be myself, and I'm like totally fine with what I'm doing now. So that's just the main, just my main purpose behind all of this. So yeah.
Now, I actually went to Philly, and I feel like I mentioned this because I've interviewed so many people from Philly
Yeah.
now. But I went for my first time ever in November, and I went to Rec Philly, which I thought was like an amazing space for creatives and,
Office
got to
space.
meet people
Mm-hmm.
there. And that's why I'm like, I want to bring that creative space to Boston. I think it's like so
Awesome.
incredible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hopefully one day I can kind of spearhead that or find
Yeah.
somebody, and do that. But that's down the road. And that's something we could talk
Right.
about later. This is
Right.
about
Right.
you. But
Right. Right.
my time in Philly, I just really appreciated, because I was going, like, my friend was driving me around to different neighborhoods, how
Mm-hmm.
artistic your city is.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
murals all over
Murals.
so many different buildings, which we don't really have that
They're
here.
everywhere. Murals are everywhere inside the city.
Oh,
Like we have, honestly, one of the biggest cities of arts and just creatives. It doesn't make any sense, honestly. But what I would say, like the pros and cons of that is we have so much talent, but then on the other side, our talent doesn't work together sometimes. You know what I mean? Like there's creators everywhere, part of the city, like from North Philly to South Philly to West Philly and so on, like so on. But we had to have, the East Coast is pretty cutthroat.
yes.
Like we are, you know, we are some tough people. We have tough skin. We're very competitive, and that's a good thing. But it's kind of our downfall, which is why I honestly just do my own thing here. I can't even lie to you. I've like heard of certain places. I might come around like a few others, or possibly like network here and there. But I'm just so focused on just like showing Kinsey art and like doing what I'm doing for the ones around me, and like including myself. It's just like I have, not saying the time to do things with others, but my main focus is, you know, just me right now. And
And
that's
yeah, I
okay.
mean, you cut out the distractions. I mean, because I
Yeah,
feel like
right, right,
it's great for other creatives to kind of partner together and you feed off of
right.
one another in terms of like how you create, which is great. But
Hmm.
then you can also have somebody that messes up the whole vibe come into your
Yeah,
circle, and it's not only going to mess up like
right.
a human relationship, but also like
Yeah,
would then affect your art. And you're like, I'm not trying to mess with you people like that.
exactly. And we are very competitive here. I don't know why or what it is, but we are very competitive people in anything we do. You can ride a bike and be competitive, or walk down
I
the
can ride it
street.
faster than you.
Right.
Like,
Who
what?
walks the hardest, or like who plays the best sports, or who paints the best. Like we're just we are very competitive people here, and that's a good thing, but it's kind of a bad thing because we can like do so much together on this coast. I think just my opinion. It
No,
just
I
be
totally, yeah.
you
We
know
could go into like a whole discussion about that. But
yeah,
and
yes.
yeah, but it's so kind of circling back to
Mhm.
the murals, like you had mentioned that you actually have murals. Do you have any, like, do you focus on local art? Like you have murals in Philly exclusively? Do you have them outside of Philly? Like where have you been able to show your art?
The only All right. So what I would say, I do have sold paintings in almost about 20 states.
Wow.
Yeah, about 20 states. And mural wise, I have a mural in Sacramento. Uh, I have a few murals here in Philadelphia for like nonprofits. My actually good friend of mine named Ryan Harris. He has a nonprofit called As I Plant the Seed. Uh, him and Tyrone, they're family.
Oh, okay.
They're cousins, and we hooked up some sort of while ago when he was opening up the his program, and he was like, "Hey, we want you to paint this mural for the kids," and I, just did it because, like I said, it's about the youth first. So I painted that mural. I have a few like custom murals for like club spots and like hookah lounges and like things like that. And that's pretty much it. About maybe about let me see, about 8 or 9 murals.
That's it.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God,
it.
that's amazing. I mean, especially you have to think about that. You just told me that 6 years ago you started doing your artwork.
Hmm. Yeah,
Serious,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredible in such a short span of time to say,
Yes,
hey, this is all that I've accomplished. So I'm like, don't be so humble
I
about it. You
agree.
got to humble brag a little bit.
I mean, you know what? Like I said, I try. How can I say? You put me on the spot there. Um, it's good to be humble here because, like I said, I do not like want to feel like I'm being in some sort of like competition with everyone else because that's the first thing that people think. But I would say, sometimes it's like deserve my flowers while I'm here, and
Absolutely.
I'm so working pretty hard, and I'm like doing great things. For example, my next upcoming project to fast forward, my biggest project so far is the Philadelphia airport. They reached out to me to do a mural in their Terminal C.
I
So
just saw that on your Instagram story
yeah,
last week, and I was like, whoa,
yeah,
that's huge.
yeah. Philadelphia airport. The curator reached out to me. Long story short, I was laying in bed
Mhm.
around like 7 o'clock, just watching TV, and I, just checking my emails, and I was like, Philadelphia airport. I didn't apply for a job for them. Like, what the hell is this? you know,
You're like,
what I mean?
spam, delete it.
Yeah,
You're like, woo
yeah. I almost did that. So I just kept reading it, and I was like, Art Curry. I said, whoa. So I had screenshot it, sent it to my uncle. He was like, what the hell? What is this? And so then I showed my fiance, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's the airport, like asking you to work with them. And I was like, yo, this is so unreal because I've only, how you just said, only about 5, 6 years ago, man, I honestly took this route of just being, a whole creator and painter. And it's been going just skyrocket since because I've been accomplishing things that I know for a fact, like some artists who I know personally, been artists for years, all their lives, haven't really accomplished. So it's like a major blessing to me.
Absolutely.
It's a major blessing to me, man. And it's just only beginning from here, you know what I mean? So yeah, that I can say I had to be humble somewhat, but how you just said, I got to my own horn sometimes, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah,
I know,
yeah.
and that's what you have to do. I mean, even though it's a competitive city, right? I don't feel like
Mhm.
you have to tear anybody down to put
Nah.
yourself on a level or a pedestal that you deserve to
Mhm.
be. So you're like, we
Right.
can all win together. This is fine, guys. Like,
Right.
because there's probably not a lot of artists that in Philly that have the same style that you do and you
Mhm.
can appreciate their style, so
Right.
whether it is
Right. Right.
murals or mixed media, however that you want to kind of put a genre to your art,
Mhm.
you are
Mhm.
all so incredibly different, which is the beautiful thing about it.
Right.
So you're like, hey, we can be cool,
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're like, but
It's
just
all
go
love on my
also
end, man.
go check out my mural when you fly
Right.
out to
Right.
Miami next time. Yeah.
It's all love
um
on my end. So.
but you've had a lot of stuff going on. So I mean, we recently just started following each other on Instagram, and
Mhm.
not only did I see the airport, but you're now on a cocktail bottle or can, I should say. You
Yeah.
have your art there. You have an art show coming up
Yeah.
like right around the time of your birthday, because you had just mentioned right
That's my
before we
actual birthday. Yeah.
okay. What
That's
a
my actual
great
birthday
day.
on my art show. Yeah, it's
It's
my
gonna
actual
be
birthday.
such a great day, and it's almost
Right.
sold out. I've been watching your story, so if at this
Yeah.
point it probably is sold out by the time this airs.
Yeah.
Which is this is like so incredible that you've had so much going on in such a short amount of time.
Yes, it is. Seems surreal, honestly, and it's very overwhelming, but also just like surreal, kind of. You know what I mean? Um, like you said, from the airport, and now I have my artwork on cocktail drinks. Uh, that right there was probably the best collab I've ever done ever in my 5, 6 years. It still seems unreal to this day, honestly. But major shout out to Tattoo Moms on South Street, Philly. They're like a bar restaurant where they share art all over their walls and like things like that. Very cool place, and we built a relationship maybe about, I want to say, going on 2 years ago. A fellow artist that I know, she had an event there. It's like a pop up shop, and she asked me to be, one of the featured artists. So I was there, and I met the owner of the bar, and he was like, "I love your work. You're an amazing guy. Blah blah blah." And ever since then, they just been so supportive of me. And one day, fast forward, maybe about like a couple of months ago, he was like, "Hey, we want your artwork on our next project for a cocktail. How do you feel about that?" And I was like, "What you mean how I feel? Sign me up." You know what I mean? Like,
You're
I'm
like,
all
which
for it.
painting do I choose? Like
Right,
this is now the
right,
next, yeah,
right.
your mind's going
Exactly.
like crazy trying to think.
Right. So what I did was I made a custom painting for them, and they used that painting on the cans. As a matter of fact, if I have time, can I go grab one right now?
Yeah, I would love to see it because I know you have one painting behind you, but
Yep.
bring
Yeah.
everything out. I want to see
I will
everything.
show you right now.
Okay,
One second.
sounds good.
Hold on 1 second. So here's the cocktail by Tattoo Moms. It's called T Moms to Go, Mom's Mule. But as you can see, my artwork is featured on the can. Like there's my signature, like smile piece, and things like that.
That
Add
is,
patterns, the flag and lips and like things like that. So I'm like very big on patterns and colors. So they loved it, including my signature right there. So it's pretty amazing.
listen, I
Very
don't
good.
even drink, but because that's like such a cool bottle, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely taking up drinking now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
want to hold that in my hand. I'm like, I would feel cool
Yeah,
drinking
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very good stuff, man. And I'm like, and the good part is it's plant based.
Ah, okay.
It's a
Now,
plant based cocktail.
what kind of cocktail is it?
So it's made with like ginger, agave, and I believe the alcohol. It's some sort of like kind of like a can say like a gin kind of
Okay.
sort of flavor to it, but it's all natural, no added poisons or like things like that. And if Tattoo Mom Walk Tales, if you guys are seeing this, if it's not gin, I'm sorry, but it's very good. It's a very good drink. It's very
And
good.
it tastes just as good as it looks, I hope.
Tastes just as good as it looks.
Good.
It's
Good.
amazing.
That's incredible. So is your painting now in their restaurant right now or
Yes, it is.
okay.
Yep. Yep. It sure is. And I can't wait to see it when everything opens back up. It's like fully. So yeah, they actually have the painting right now. Mhm.
That is incredible. Look, can
Incredible.
you ever imagine this was going to be your life?
No,
Because I like we briefly
no.
talked about it, but I also read on your website that you played basketball, you became
Yeah.
semi-professional or professional basketball player, and you're probably like, yeah, this is my goal, this is what I'm going to be doing, and then
Yeah.
what? Like
Yeah.
total
Yeah.
opposite plan
Yeah.
of like what you were anticipating.
Absolutely. So I had the chance to play in Santiago, Chile, and I had a chance to, it's like sign a contract for a full season. And ironically, that was not the route that, it's like that was meant for me. And I came home. Now I'm here painting. Had my artwork on a cocktail can. I'm painting the Philadelphia International Airport. So that's major to me. And I wouldn't change it for nothing right now.
That's
Nothing.
amazing.
So this is
I
my true calling.
Yeah, I like this path for you. I mean, I don't even
Yeah,
know
me
you
too.
personally,
Me
but
too.
I'm
Yeah.
like totally cheering you on. I'm all
Thank you so
excited for you.
much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Um, so you've done, I mean, we're now like I'm literally jumping all over the place because I'm just like, I have all
Mhm.
these questions, I have all this stuff, and God forbid I like go in
Yeah.
order, right?
Yeah.
But you have murals, you
Mhm.
have cocktail cans, but you also have your canvases. And that's what I want to talk about because you have great mixed media on there. I've seen spray paint, I've seen acrylic. Do you
Yeah.
have a medium that you prefer better? Do you have, a preference to murals versus canvas? Like, I want to kind of know a little bit more about your art in that sense.
Um, when it comes to art, I don't like to label, it's like label myself as an acrylic artist or as a oil painting artist. I personally feel like art can be anything and you can use it with anything, you know what I mean? So I've used oil, acrylic, spray paint, markers, crayons, magazine paper, glue, everything. I use everything in my paintings because I personally feel like there's no such thing as a, you know, label. It's like you can't mess art up. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You cannot mess art up because it's art. It's going to become something great regardless how you do it or what you do it with. So I use everything in my paintings. Everything.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I mean, art's not meant to be perfect, first and foremost, because the ending result of a painting, for example,
Mhm.
how you get to the end of it is
Mhm.
exactly how it was supposed to be. So if you're outside of the
Right.
lines a little bit, or you go a little too dark on your colors, or this happened, like
Mhm.
it was a whole journey. It's not meant to be perfect. And I think that that's
Exactly.
incredible because it just shows how personal it is. And, your
Mhm.
craft really is, you know, very personal, and I can't even like think, I don't want to say like,
Very personal.
yeah, why am I at a loss for words right now? I was an English
Very personal.
major. You think I have like a whole damn
Oh, really?
dictionary up in my head, but
Oh,
I'm like,
awesome.
I don't know.
You're an English major? Dude, okay.
I know. I'm like, hi, do I have any words in my brain I can pull out right now?
Yeah. I,
Um, but yeah, and then I also I keep like referring back to your Instagram, but that's like literally my only like frame of reference I have, because I have not seen your
Mhm.
art in person yet, and I hope to one day. But
Yeah.
you've also, done work on handbags, and I also saw that
Mhm.
you had a show or kind of like an exhibit with Bloomingdale's at King of Prussia. Like, what? Let's talk about that.
You know what? Sorry about that. But I completely forgot about that. And
Right.
that's how much I do. Like, I completely forgot about Bloomingdale's. Sorry, Bloomingdale's. So sorry.
We're mentioning them now, so it's better late than never, right?
I completely forgot about Bloomingdale's. Wow. All right. So Bloomingdale's, I was a featured artist for their event called it's called the Makeup something. But basically it caters to women, whereas though they have like an event where, they're doing, so they have makeup artists and speakers and like things like that. They all come together in that like fragrance section. And I was a featured artist to whereas though I was painting their tote bags, handmade tote bags, and just meeting people, just greeting myself, and things like that. And it was a pretty cool event. Pretty cool event. I ended up meeting some awesome people there, actually, to be honest with you. But yeah, cool stuff. Did it for 2 years, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it
Did it
wasn't just like a one and done type event. Like,
I no, I actually did the event twice.
okay.
So yeah. But good
Have you,
stuff though. I forgot all
yeah,
about that. Jeez.
you
Mm.
saved the best for
Mm.
last.
Right,
That
right.
was my plan.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, no problem. No, but have you ever seen one of the handbags? Like, is a woman walking down the street and like wearing one of the bags that you've done, and you're like, oh my God, that's me. Like, I did that.
No,
Have you had
no,
that
but
opportunity?
I've actually seen like my hoodies and stuff like being worn, or I would see like person's their purse I painted, something like that, but never have I ever seen those tote bags that I've done from Bloomingdale's. Nah.
One day you will.
Yeah, one day, yeah, one day I probably will. I
When
believe I will.
outside opens back up, and then people are going to start wearing stuff that they have had in their closet and haven't been
Mhm.
able to wear for a year. They're like,
Right,
oh my God, yes, this bag is going to look great when I finally make my
right.
debut in public again.
A-
So,
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I have. Wow, I really forgot about. I'm so- that's so embarrassing.
no, it's not.
Man,
No, because I'm hitting you with like 55,000 questions, Sean. So, how are you going to remember everything that you've done?
right? Seriously.
You
Oh
know?
man,
And I
jeez.
literally only know because I was like scrolling down your page. I was like, I need to know about him. I need to know what's
Yep.
going on. I
Yeah.
have to be prepared for this interview as best I
Right.
can. But I mean, I also want to know you as a person and as an artist. So I was like, oh, this is cool to like talk about that and get to know
Absolutely.
kind of like your life leading up to art, which it sounds
Right.
like it's not like you were like baby Picasso. You're like, hey, I'm a full grown adult right now. I'm just getting
Yep.
started on this.
Just
So
getting started on it. Just getting started on it.
and I don't
So
even want to say you found your passion later in life. I mean, you were 29, so it's not like you
yeah,
were like
that's
ancient. Yeah.
Right, right. And like I said, that been one of my passions, because I have an uncle who's like into fashion, had all the cool sneakers and stuff like that growing up. So I always like look up to him as far as that artsy side, it's like being yourself, it's like being creative. So I had that, and I had, just the creative side of me to like draw and like sketch things out. So it's been a part of my life. I'm just now showing it to the world, I guess. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it.
Well, I'm glad that you embraced it and you're willing to show it and not like hide it
Yeah.
and be like, it's not cool in Philly to be an artist, so I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Right, right. Nah, I couldn't do that, man. Couldn't do that
No,
because the world is so big. This world is so huge. There's billions of people. You never know like who you come across. So I have to keep going. That's the
absolutely.
goal. Yeah,
Yeah, because otherwise you'd be doing a disservice to yourself, you know?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I would not, you know, have things like this or like that. So, you know,
Yep. You'd be
success.
working a boring 9 to 5,
Hmm.
saving up for the wedding, and you're like, oh, this is all,
Absolutely.
it's like,
Yeah.
no, you get to enjoy life. You get to like have the freedom to kind of like really just live life how you want to without just feeling like you're checking off a box. Like, yes, I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yes, this is happening next. Yes, this is how my life is supposed to go in order. You're like, no, I can
No,
enjoy the ride without feeling like I have to check things off, like how life's supposed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's no offense to anybody who has a job. I applaud anyone who works. But with me and my background, uh, I just I'm just so like so driven and just so motivated from the people around me and like the ones who I love, and it would be like a dishonor like not to like just do what I'm doing now. So I had I put my fourth F like every muscle, and that's what I do. So
Yeah.
that comes first. You know what I mean? Comes first.
Yeah. I don't think we either one of us were like shading people that work because thank God
No, no,
people.
yeah, 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 yeah. I get it. No, 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 no,
You
not
were like,
shame.
no disrespect to that. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
not at all.
no,
But,
no, no, no.
for you to be able to have the ability and the freedom to really have this as your profession is really
Mhm.
nice because you're not putting it on the back burner that you come home from work
Mm,
and I'm so
mm.
tired and I really don't want to paint, or I'm ignoring this email from the curator at the airport because I'm tired and,
Right.
or I think it's a scam, I just think
Well,
it's,
admit, I can't lie to you. I have my moments where I'm just like it's like overwhelmed or just need a break. But I have to realize, this pays the bills. So you know what I mean? Gets the job done. So I have to do what I have to do. I have to talk to people. I have to network. I have to be my own curator. I have to promote myself. I have to, make my own shirts. I have to paint. I have, buy my products. I do all those things every single week.
yep,
So, and hopefully, my main goal is to have a team around me, a team of people I can trust, who believes in me and I believe in them. And we just do this one whole thing just together, hopefully one day, but that's not what God has for me right now. And that's fine. I'm totally fine by that. I have to keep working. I have to keep
yeah.
moving. So,
That way you will can just like be in full creative mode. You don't have
yep.
to worry
Yeah.
about the networking or, the
Yeah.
production of
Yeah.
your t-shirts, let them deal
Yeah.
with the business
Yeah.
aspect. You're like, I just want to get into my studio and paint and be done
Right.
with it. And that's it.
Right.
It will happen
Exactly.
one day. Yeah.
It's fun though. I love the thrill of having to feel like I'm like working. I'm overworking myself, sort of say, because it gives me the just that strength to know that I'm going in the right direction. So it's all good. But just one day, I hope one day I had that team around me. So
You will.
not
Less
that much.
than, I would say on a generous scale, 3 to 5 years, but I think it'll be sooner than that, honestly.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
I'm
you. Appreciate it.
manifesting this for you.
Yes. Yes.
But how do you find a balance? Because I know it does get really overwhelming at times because it's not just the art, it's not just the creation and the selling of the merchandise. Like there's so much that goes into being an artist and getting your art known. So
Absolutely.
like what do you do to kind of take a step back and you're like, okay, I'm gonna have a self-care day and I'm gonna just like invest time to myself. Like what do you like to do outside of creating?
So my self-care day honestly consists of being with my family. I'm a huge family person. I'm very, how can I say it? I'm very overprotective when it comes to my well-being and being around my family. And they matter. They they matter to me the most out of everything, from my fiance to my dog to my brothers and sisters, my cousins, my uncles, aunts, you know, grandparents and parents and like things like that. So that's my that's what I consist of, like my like downtime. I'm like usually around them 24/7. So yeah, that's me. And my good friends too. Have a
Of
good,
course.
good amount of friends. But they're like family. So we're all one big family. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I
So
would
when you
call them
say
friends. They're my
family,
family.
it's a big
Yeah, yeah,
umbrella of
yeah.
people.
Big umbrella
Yes.
of like people who support me, who's there for me, who like understands my vision, and they completely get like the route I'm trying to take. So shout out to them because they keep me sane, honestly. Because there are times when I lose it. You know what I mean? Because there's so much to do, but major shout out to them.
Absolutely. Well,
Shout
I
out to
think, yeah, moments where it becomes overwhelming and then you walk into the room and you're like, oh, my fiance's probably going to strangle me. And she's like, probably
them.
just like, take a step off the ledge. It's okay. And you're like,
Yeah,
oh, wait, what? No, you're supportive of me. You're not
yeah,
trying to
thank
like,
you.
ramp me up. Like, thank God for
Yeah,
her. Big shout out
yeah,
to her.
yeah. Big shout out to her, seriously. Shout out to her.
Right, my
Yeah.
phone ringing. How disrespectful.
It's,
No, but we
mine's
got to
ringing
shout
too
her
about
out.
five
Yes.
times.
I know. That's why I was like, hold on, rude. But we got to
Right,
shout her out, because it's like, it's great to have a family member that's an artist, but you don't always live with your family. But if you two live together, she sees the everyday
right,
motion of, from when you get up to when you go to bed and the process of, what
right.
you do. And it sounds like she really respects what you do. And,
Yeah.
that's where the support is just so easy to come from that because she believes in you.
I actually have two family members who are artists, who are painters as well, and
Really?
they are amazing, amazing artists. And I'm not being biased. They are very great artists. My one cousin, he paints portraits and does like sneakers and jackets. He's amazing. He goes by the name of Dia Martin. He's on Instagram. And my other cousin named Taj Pasque on Instagram. He's like he's the big guy. He's in the big league. He's traveled to like Europe and he's on the news and like things like that. He's the big guy. So I actually, oh my gosh, I feel I'm like drawing blanks. I actually was on the news too recently.
Well, we must talk about it then. So tell me about that.
I forgot all about that too. Like, what is wrong with me there? I do not know what's going on. But yeah, I recently got interviewed by Channel 6 Action News in Philly. Um, I want to say about a month ago, maybe. One of the news anchors, she reached out to me through email. I was shocked by that too. I'm just, falling back, probably watching TV, maybe check my email. I'm like, Channel 6 News. What the hell is this? You know what I mean? Like, and I read it. It was an actual news anchor. So we set the interview up at my friend's nonprofit. this building, and there you have it. I was on the news, so that was a huge thing for me too. And I'm just like, man, everything's happening at once. Like so many good things are happening for me, and I still can't believe it. Like it's just so surreal to me. But
Yes.
yeah, I was on the news too. So
All right. So we have Kevin Hart, The Roots, Will
mhm.
Smith, Meek Mill, and
Uh,
Sean Kinsey, all very famous people coming out of Philly,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes, we got to
Yeah.
throw your name out
I'm
there. I mean,
I am speaking that into existence, and I do every single day because I know one day I'm going to make a difference for my community. I want to make a difference for my community, and I want to just like help this city every way possible. That's my goal, and just bring everybody together, man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like times are hard right now for everyone, and I just want just peace and love. You know what I'm saying? So that's my main goal out of
yeah,
all of this.
yeah. And I think it's easy to say that and have it translated directly into your art, because when you said you don't really have those dark thoughts, and that really goes to show in your art. I mean, you use really vibrant colors and it's very expressive, and I feel like to show that light and that positivity can translate
Yeah,
very easily into your community and the people that you love, and get your
yeah.
name out there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, you're definitely already on the map, it sounds like. And then to think that literally the airport is an international airport, there's going to be people coming in there that you're like, I didn't even know that country
Thousands of
existed.
people.
You're
Exactly.
flying into what, Terminal C, Terminal 3, what did you say it was?
See,
Terminal C.
yeah.
And you're going to be like, yeah, oh my God, that person from Turkey just saw this person from
Right. Right.
Kazakhstan, all these countries. And you're going to be like, they saw me. They knew me. So
Seriously.
they better give you a fat ass plaque next to that shows your name, that you were
Yeah, they
born and
are.
raised there. Good. I'm like,
Yeah,
they
they
got to,
are. They are.
yeah, put your
They get the whole
contact
works.
info.
Yep.
Yep.
Get the
We're going
whole
to have
works, man.
Sean Kinsey go international. There's going to be
Yeah.
murals and paintings all over the place. So,
SK art everywhere, all over the place. That's the main goal. And I believe the airport, like honestly, I believe the airport is going to be the main takeoff for me. You know what I mean? Like this project will be, it will open up tons of doors for me and my friends and family. So that's the main goal. I'm not just one person. I personally feel like when it comes to Sean Kinsey, it comes to all of us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
You're not you're
that's
not
my
gonna
goal.
leave the little people
No,
behind
I
when you get
can't
big. You're
do
like,
that. No, I
you're all
can't do
coming
that.
with
Man.
me.
They're all coming with me. We're all coming together. So we're
Right.
coming together. We're coming happy, and we're coming strong. So
And well fed, well
right.
loved,
For love, well
everything.
fed. It's just about spreading love, man. So one of my so I would say the past month's been pretty rough for me, honestly. I just lost two of my like biggest inspirational people in my life. Um, Two of my uncles, they both passed away recently, actually, and one of my uncles, he was more like a father figure to me. He's amazing, and his name is Sean as well. Named after him. He has this movement called Love on Purpose, and that movement is going to stick around for a long time because I'm going to make sure that I myself and my siblings, my loved ones, my cousins, everyone, that we carry on that legacy because that's what life is about. Just loving on purpose, no matter the person's skin color, their background, their religious belief. We're going to spread love and just spread positivity, and that's the folks behind my artwork. And I believe, he's still very proud of me to this day. And he always has been proud of me. So that's that's my biggest. He's like my biggest inspiration behind this all. Honestly, God bless my uncle's soul, Sean Wilson. So yeah, I
And
have
I
to keep
think
it rolling.
Yeah, and I think, speaking about legacy, you're not only going to continue his legacy, just like you being a nephew of his, carrying his same name, but
Yeah,
you're going to carry both of your uncles and all of the other loved ones that you've lost
yeah.
along the way in your art. And art is timeless, so
No,
it's these pieces,
no,
one day, and I'm not trying to wish an early
no, no,
death
no,
upon
no, no,
you,
no,
right?
no. Yeah,
But
but
like,
when I'm like 5,000 years old or something like that, yeah, my pieces
yeah,
will be around still. You
and
know what
they're
I mean?
hanging in the art galleries and
Hard drive somewhere.
museums throughout the
Yeah,
entire world.
yeah,
You're going to be like, this is where my
yeah.
legacy lies. Like,
Uh,
what you're doing right now is
mhm.
like planting the seeds for like
Exactly,
your whole life.
exactly, exactly, and that's my main goal. I honestly can say I do not do this for money or do it for fame. I don't care about that stuff because I know with like being great that comes, you know, but the main goal is just to literally just spread love, man, and just leave a legacy for my future children, for my grandchildren, for my wife, for my loved ones, and just keep the legacy going. You know, because of the fact that it was passed down to me too. So that's just my goal, man. Just to be one great, loving, known person who just spreads positivity through his talent, his gift. Kind of like the, how can I say it? I want to be like the Gandhi of art. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yes.
Like the
Okay.
Gandhi of art, man.
Yeah.
I
You're
do,
like, I'm
seriously.
putting big things on my
Yeah,
legacy right now.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Like the Gandhi of art.
Yeah.
Just spread love. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. But I would say, as being a new fan of yours and seeing
yeah.
your work again, only virtually right now,
Mhm.
I can tell by the detail, the consistency, the passion that is in your work. I can tell you're
Mhm.
not doing it for money. I can tell that you're doing it for passion. And I think that that's a huge indicator when people, as being a consumer or on just like a,
Right.
you know, perspective, I can't even talk right now. Again, my head's like going bleh. But like being like an art viewer perspective,
Mhm.
to see that you can really truly understand that this is not just because you got a fat paycheck and you're like, okay, I just have to execute this to execute this. You're
Right.
doing this with intent. You're doing
Right.
this to create, whether it's a combination, like a series of paintings with a common
Yep.
thread, or if it's, to honor your uncles,
Yeah.
and create
Yeah.
something for that. Like, you're doing it with passion. And I think that
Right.
that's like the biggest thing that, you do
Right.
now, which will also continue with your legacy. People will see that and understand that.
Right. 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 Um.
I know.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, what else are you forgetting to tell me? Listen, I brought up
Uh,
Bloomies. You remembered being interviewed. Like, there's something else I know you're forgetting. I'm just kidding. I'm
all
putting
right.
you on the
So,
spot.
let me see. I mean, oh man, there's a lot.
There is a
There's a
lot.
lot. I mean, seriously, it's like there's a lot. Well, let me see. Well, I have the art show coming up.
Yep.
That's April 4th, my birthday. From 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 426 Allegheny Avenue. That's in Philadelphia. Um, that art show is titled New Beginning because of the fact that I just personally feel like this time right now for myself, it's like a whole new beginning of just like a great journey, you know what I'm saying? And of like positive things and doing big things, you know what I mean? And I just personally feel like this right here is my new beginning of just a big bright future. So that's why I had called it that. And like even also, to double back on my uncle who passed away, him and him and I had multiple conversations of just me doing big things, and you know, he always tell me, he calls me son, so he'd be like, son, you know, this is a new beginning for you, man. Just keep on doing what you're doing, keep loving on purpose, and just keep like moving forward. And that always stuck to me. So like I said, you know, shout out to my uncle Sean. He's my godfather too. God bless his soul. But he always told me to just like keep moving forward and just keep loving on purpose. And there's a new beginning for you. And so that's why I mainly called it that. I was like, you know what? This art show is going to be called New Beginning. So it's just that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm sad for you. Oh my God, everyone's calling me. God.
it's cool. It's all right. Everybody call
Mom, leave
it.
me alone. I told her I had an
Yeah.
interview. Come
Yeah,
on, leave
yeah,
me alone.
yeah.
And I'm really sad that your uncle's not going to be, here to partake and be able to
He's
see the
here
new
though. He's a
beginnings.
spirit. You know what I
Of
mean? He's
course,
here.
absolutely.
He's here.
Because I would love
He's
to
here.
have him physically be there to support you, but he's always going to be
Right,
with you no matter what. But to
right,
really take something that he says to you all the time and like actually execute this, and you're like, yeah,
right.
this is a new beginning. But I also
Yeah.
think that that this new beginning, there's a few years down the road, you're going to have other beginnings. And as you evolve as a human, your art's going to evolve and it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
forever evolving and changing. And I think that that's nice to recognize and acknowledge, like when you're having a new beginning, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
metamorphosis in a sense of
Yeah.
who you're becoming.
Right.
Because
Right.
is your art the same now as it was 5 years ago? No, not at all.
Hell no. No,
No,
hell no. No, no.
no.
It's
So
not.
it's like
It's not.
you're
Yeah,
constantly
no.
growing and changing. Yeah.
Right. That's absolutely right. True.
Yeah.
I agree.
So aside from the airport project you're working on, and we do have the upcoming art show, or is there anything else that you have that you're working on right now, or is it top secret and I have to have you come
Mhm.
back on
So
to
right
tell us?
now, all right. So right now, I'm actually working on a couple like mural projects for a couple businesses. And after that, I have some big projects that I can't really tell everybody, you know. So it's like top secret, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yep.
I don't really want to, how can I say it? I don't like talking too much. I
No,
just
because
like
we'll
showing,
jinx it.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So
If
yeah.
we talk about things too early, I always find that if I mention something, it never happens. You got
It's
to keep
true.
it
Yeah.
quiet until it actually,
Quiet.
happens.
Gotta keep quiet and just put the work in. Like
Yep.
put the work in nonstop and just show and prove to everyone, you know, that you're not just talking about it, but you're actually, you know, putting the action in. So that's my motto. You know, got to put the work in.
All right. So I'm going to have you back. Like once everything's said and done, we're going to have a part two
Mhm.
of this interview. So you can be like, okay, Katie, now I can tell the world
Right,
what I'm
right,
up
right,
to.
right, 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 right.
And then you're going to be so much more prepared. Like I have a whole scroll of all of the news
Yeah,
stations that interviewed me and all of these things. You're going to be like, yeah, I didn't forget anything now. I'm going to tell you everybody that interviewed me.
Katie, seriously, no lie. Like I completely forgot about almost everything that I've done because I'm like doing so much. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just teasing you. I know, but
No,
it's a
and
lot.
I'm just like, yo, I've really accomplished a lot of things in these past 5, 6 years. You know, just just being a professional artist. I've done so much, and I kind of forget. Like, damn, I did that last year, or you know, it's like the year before that. So, you know,
It's all right. I know,
it's,
but it's not to say it's like your everyday life in a sense, but you're just living it in the moment. So you forget these things where
living
somebody
in
like
the moment.
me having
Yeah.
an outside perspective, like thank God you have a time stamp of like proof that you did these things on your Instagram. Because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, like I wouldn't know any better. So
Right.
it's just
Right.
like, yeah, okay, yes, I did do that. Yeah. But like you said, it's been
Yeah.
such a like
Right.
rapid change from your
Man,
life
like a
just a
rapid
few years
change,
ago.
man. Like
How do you keep
we
it all
haven't.
in? Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I don't even know. That's why I said I personally I need a team because I have a website, you know, like I have to market things, I have to promote. I'm my own, you know, it's like curator. I like do my own shows and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just personally feel like everything is happening so suddenly, but in good timing. You know what I mean? So hopefully one day I can actually get like a small vacation break. You know what I'm saying? Because it's much needed, honestly. And I honestly think after this project, you know, with the airport, I think I'm going to take a nice long vacation for because I, you know, I deserve it first and
Absolutely.
foremost. But
But it's
yeah,
okay to take like little weekend trips here and there too. You gotta like breathe a little bit,
yeah,
and just be like,
yeah,
I got to step away from it because I'm going to tell you, wherever you end up going, even just for a little weekend trip, you're going to find
mhm,
art and inspiration anywhere you
mhm,
go. Because I'm always a huge believer in like, art is everywhere. You can view it
everywhere.
so many
Yeah,
different ways. And I don't care if it's a textile, I don't care if it's like a
yeah,
traditional painting, I don't care if it's a sculpture. There is art everywhere that you go, every
it's
single day.
everywhere.
You
Yeah.
know, your eyes are like eating it in and you don't realize, hey, that's art, but it really is art.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you do take a break, I mean, maybe that would be another added layer to your new beginning. You're like, we just need to have like a weekend getaway. We're gonna do this, and then you go
Yeah, for
somewhere
sure.
like, shit, that's my new inspiration.
Right,
That's the
right,
direction
right,
of like
right,
my
yeah.
next like series of paintings. Like you
My
don't
next,
know what you're gonna see and come across until like actually hits you. Then you're like, oh my God, I
right,
was meant to be seeing this. I was meant to like
right,
understand this. So
right.
yeah.
I completely agree.
Dude,
So
take a
yeah,
break. You deserve it.
right. That's true, but I feel like you know I'm not done yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're
Nowhere
not
near
gonna
done.
be done until the day you die. So it's like,
Very true.
yeah.
All right. So for example, right. So for my art show, I have about I'm showing about 10 to 11 paintings, right? But I still feel like I'm not done. I want to fill that whole room with like art everywhere, but that would be too much. But at the same time, I just feel like, you know what, I'm done. So just take a chill pill, just wait till that day comes, and I will be okay. Because I know
Yes.
for a fact that day is going to be very hectic, as always, and I just have to, you know, just be calm and patient that day. So hopefully my friends will help me.
I have fingers crossed because I'm like,
Hopefully
listen, if
they'll,
you're
you
calling
know,
all these
help me
friends
hang up.
family,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
they better show up and show out for you. Yes.
Right. They better. Because if not, they're getting cut off. Say no, they're not getting
Yeah.
cut off. I love
For
them
like a
though.
day, then you're like, all right, we're cool again. That's fine.
Right, right, right.
But I would say, like, if there are pieces that, like, for example,
Mhm.
the customized one that you did for the restaurant, or
Okay.
if you have other pieces, like, talk to the owners of those pieces, see if you can have them on loan for the show. If they go
Right,
with the other pieces that you're featuring,
right.
you could fill the room with that way and be like, well, this one's not for sale, but I could make you something similar. So it's like, don't exhaust yourself trying to create new art just for the sake of like, hey, I want to sell it today and be done with
Right.
it. Like you got to show as
So
much as
that
you
was an idea, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not carrying all this stuff. Honestly, I didn't
That's
want
the
to.
only reason.
Nah, yeah, yeah. So I've done a couple commission pieces in like the past month, right? Pa- Past month or so, and my clientele, you know, like they were like, "Hey, just put those pieces in your art show," and I was like, "No, I can't do that because that's me having to display it, having to hang it up, having to take it with me, and all that stuff." And no, I'm okay. Can't do
Simple
that.
answer.
So,
No,
nah,
no.
nope. No, I can't do it. So,
Well,
yeah,
then maybe if you have pictures of these commissioned pieces,
yeah,
print it out, put it in a little photo album and be like, these are some of the other artworks I've done, or like have them in picture frames on a table, right? So you could be like,
yes.
I'm
So
not
my
doing that shit. Here you go. Here's
right.
a small version.
All
Yeah.
right. So in my art shows, I like usually sell. my merchandise, like my t-shirts, hoodies, hats. I sell prints of my artwork, and I sell my actual like canvases. So it's pretty much just everything that people can get. You know what I mean? It's like their hands on my stuff. So yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much
you
it.
want, I mean, I'm the type of shopper that's like, instant gratification. So it's like if
Mhm.
I were to go to your show, I'd be like, I want to walk out with a piece right now. So whether it
Yeah.
be the merchandise or a piece of art, so I get it, but there's a
Mhm.
lot of manual labor that goes into it. You're like,
It's tons of labor, man. And that's the part that people don't realize. Like, I had to be there super early. I have to hang up the painting by myself. I have to set up by myself. I have to buy this stuff. I have to buy that stuff. I have to do all of these things, by myself, really. So, it, like I said, it's kind of overwhelming, but then it makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like grinding. So,
yeah. Well, one
but
day when you have that team, you're like, hang that there and hang that
yeah,
there. You don't have to worry about it. You could just show
yeah,
up like an hour before the show starts and tell them where to hang it. You're like, I'm not carrying this
exactly.
in.
So I have some pretty tall friends, and I had two main tall friends who were like 6'8", 6'9", and I like tell them every single week, one day I'm going to hire you and you're going to work for me, and that's just that. So you can hang my stuff up, like curate my shows for me. So that's one of my goals, to put all of my friends around me, like to have jobs and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Just to work together, man. So I
No,
mean,
and
so
that's again, everybody's coming with you on this journey. You're like, we're all eating together, being,
everybody,
everything
everybody eats
together. Like
together.
this is a
Right.
big family thing. And I will gladly volunteer for any art show you have coming up in the future, but I'm 5'2", so I'll get the lower
Now you pop
stuff.
too. All right.
I'll set up the
You put
table
it.
with the merchandise, right? I won't be
Yeah,
hanging any paintings.
got you.
But I'm definitely here to volunteer if I'm in the area. So yeah.
Awesome. So you're from Boston, right?
Well, I grew up on Cape Cod, which is like an hour
Okay.
and a half.
Okay.
But I have lived in Boston. I went to college here and then moved home for a couple of years, and I've been back here for the last 10 years. So yeah,
Yeah, Boston is one of my. So Boston, is one of my next like go-to cities to like network and like possibly meet some new people in that art lane. So that's my next trip I plan on doing,
all right.
honestly.
Well, that weekend getaway, it's
Hmm.
not that far away. I think it's a 5-hour drive from Philly.
Yeah, it's a 5-hour drive.
And things are
Mhm.
starting to open back up again, right?
Yeah,
We're going into phase 4, step 1, or whatever it is. It's like
yeah,
all these crazy
yeah.
things.
Mhm.
Um, or is it today? Yes, we did that today. So things are opening
Yeah,
up more, right? So I think that you and your fiance need to have like a small getaway weekend. Just come up here for the weekend, enjoy yourselves, take a break, but
for
also
sure.
start making those
Mhm.
connections and check out. Because I want you to see firsthand, like there are certain neighborhoods that have murals, but like when you talk about
Mhm.
Boston proper and like the high traffic areas, especially for tourism, you don't see any of that art anywhere. It's all old,
Right,
beautiful buildings, which is great, but it's just that, we need
right.
to really cultivate the art scene in a better way,
Mhm.
to show our community through different ways. And I feel like
Mhm.
that's where Boston really is on the like lower scale of that, and kind of just like
Yeah,
we're very archaic in that sense. So I would love for you to be able to like meet creatives, and I have a friend
yeah,
who's actually
yeah.
an artist I would love to connect you with.
I would love to.
Yeah, we're gonna work
Love
on
to.
this, but I can be your tour guide when you come up, but also try to give you the connections. But Boston really is a great city, so if you haven't been here and you really want to explore it, I mean, it's a fun place to be for sure.
Awesome, awesome.
Got to get up here, man. We got to
That's my
get your
next
art
goal.
known up here so people start buying it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. The farthest I've been up to the East Coast, like the northern East Coast, is Maine.
Oh, so
So
you
in
just
college,
drove right through Massachusetts.
yeah.
Okay.
So in college, I played basketball. They made the tournament, and we were up in Maine, and that was about it. So yeah, that's my only thing. Hold on, that's my dog. He's barking.
He's trying to break into this interview. He wants to be the superstar right
His
now.
name is Compton, and actually, I think one of my tall friends, they're here. They're actually just knocking
Bring
my
them
door.
on. I'm just kidding. If you want to.
Yeah, right. No. Hold on one second. I'm
Take your
so
time.
sorry.
Take your time.
So sorry.
No, don't even apologize at all.
Yes. So speaking of that very tall friend who comes in and help me time to time, who I'm going to hire one day, he just walked in my house.
Hi, tall friend. I can't even see your head. You probably just had to bend over to get through the door frame. Hi, I'm Katie. Nice to meet you.
He's a silly guy, but
you can join us. You don't have to be shy. We're just finishing up anyway, so you guys can go hang out.
Right. But
Compton just made his appearance. Now you can. Don't be shy hanging out in the background. Don't be a wallflower over there. You gotta come hang out.
My house is like one big family reunion. Like sometimes, honestly, they just pop up. You know what I mean? But
and that's not even a bad thing. You're just like,
show
up. Don't even call.
Yeah,
well, although you said your phone went off 5 times, so probably people were calling to come.
Yeah, 5 times literally. But it's all good. Love my family. So
yeah. So what school did you play for?
So I was at junior college.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually I got super good between like my mid-20s, but honestly, I hated school. Hated school so much. I was not a school person, and you know, I'm like kind of happy the route that I took because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. But the good thing that I would say about going to school was meeting new people and having the friends that I have today.
Yeah.
And I have friends from all over the country, you know, just because of that. And I would say that basketball was a huge help in that because it helps you gain relationships. So yeah, that's my main thing. But I went to school here in PA.
Okay.
Manor College. Yep. So
wait, what's the name of it?
Manor Junior College.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah. No, I never heard of them. It's a very private school. It's a very private school, but went there and didn't like school. I don't know what it was, Katie. Hard to explain. The young version of me was just like so, man. I don't know, nuts, insane maybe, but I literally always had the artistic side of me. You know what I'm saying? Just being a creative, and I love that about myself. Like I just love art, fashion, like things like that. And I was very good at skateboarding too. So I love skateboarding. That's like my second favorite sport ever.
So paint the bottom of skateboards. Let's start a whole company. Come on.
Dude.
We gotta get these ideas going, man.
I do actually.
I should have known actually.
Yeah. I actually painted a couple of skateboards and I sold them. One skateboard recently went to Georgia.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome.
I don't know who bought it off my website, but I just saw the address. I was like, wow, it's going to Georgia. So yeah,
that's
one of my second favorite things too. I love skateboarding. I love the whole X Games and stuff like that. So
that's so cool. But see, I think young wild Sean was meant to be like that because if you were like whatever, not trying to knock people, but if you were like a super nerd at school and you're like, yeah, I love books, I love academia, like
you're funny.
Like you wouldn't be you now, and not everybody is meant to love school, just like not everybody's meant to be an artist. Like it's but you were in this box. Like if you were to be like into school like that, you got to spread your wings. You can't be like that.
And personally, I'm kind of happy you said that because I really felt like it's like all of my life I've just been in my box. I wasn't like really sure of like how to express myself. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But like slowly but surely it just came out. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't afraid to like be myself, like things like that. So I'm really happy the way I like turned out to be because I'm the man who I am today, and things are happening for me. You know, it's like big things are happening for me. So
And you were meant to go to that school and you were meant to play ball there and you were meant to
yeah,
be on that path. And there's no
yeah,
regrets.
yeah. There's no regrets whatsoever, man.
Yeah. I
Whatsoever.
mean, some of the best relationships you make are at school. Like I'm still really good
Right.
friends with people I went to college with. I mean, I graduated in 2007, so I'm ancient, right?
Katie, hold on one second, Katie. Can you see him playing with the dog in the background?
Yes, and I love it. This is like a whole moment. And I love that you just realized that because I'm like, Compton's been on the couch hanging out for the last couple minutes.
He's ridiculous, first of all. Like, but this is my life, and this is what I love. Like my family is like around me 24/7. Like it's whatever, you know what I mean? But this is me.
Yes, but this is exactly what I wanted to see. This is what this conversation was about, to meet Sean Kinsey, to learn about you, hear your story. So I'm like, I'm coming into your space, you know? So I'm like, don't worry. Hey, if your fiance's home, bring her on camera. I'm like, the more the merrier. She'd probably be like, no, I don't want to be on camera right now.
But hair's not done, you know, blah, blah, blah.
But I'm like, no, bring everybody. I don't care. This can be a whole family reunion on this like YouTube conversation. But no, but that's exactly like a good thing to see for what you were just talking about, to actually see everything of your everyday life playing out. Your dog is there, your friend is there, you're hanging out, you're in your space.
That's my bro. That's my brother, actually. You know, she's more like that tall little brother to me, you know, to me. So yeah.
So you got to tell him about how I'm going to hang the low paintings. He's going to hang the tall paintings, but we're both there for you. Right?
He heard you.
I'm only 5'2". Oh my God. I have somebody from Philly calling me right now. Everybody's calling. I'm so sorry. Should have put do not disturb. So her name is Julia. What's up?
Yeah. So Julia?
Julia. So she is the creator of Black, Bold, and Beautiful. So she is a member of Rec Philly, but she's also a member of the legendary media group. So Tyrone knows her as well.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. That's awesome.
So, yeah. So when I came to Philly, I met up with, were there four of us, and there was a few other people that were supposed to come, but they couldn't end up make it, because we went to brunch and then we went to Rec Philly for like a photo shoot that we were doing. But I tell you, there's probably like 10 people in my group from Philly, and they've now like spread all over, you know, like Tyrone's in LA, and you know, everybody's kind of moving around. But I'm like, I feel like it would be such a small world. I feel like you know a lot of these people that are in my group. Like if you were to look them up, you're like, oh, we have like tons of mutual friends. So
I might know some. Honestly, Katie, I'm not really big in the, how can I say it? I'm not really big in the creators world here, like Philly. And you know, there's like nothing personal, but I'm not really a part of the art crowd.
You're in your own crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like in my own crowd, man, because I like to fit in with everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I can't really feel like I'm a part of this group of people because they do this or they do that. I just like being myself, like being around who I'm around no matter what, who they are, and I'm like fine with that. So I'm not really a huge fan of like being in the creative atmosphere here. You know what I mean? I like to follow my own path, my own mind, and just do my own thing. So,
and that's fine too. You don't have to be wrapped up in with them.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Like you said, I'm like social, but like anti-social somewhat. You know, so, not purposely, but just like I just like my own space. You know,
that's your energy. Yeah, you got to protect it. So Julia actually had me on one of her podcast episodes, and we were talking because she's like, obviously you're the antisocial socialite, but there is being an introvert and an extrovert. But we were discussing, I'm actually an ambivert, which is kind of in the middle. And I feel like that's where you are too. Yeah.
I'm an ambivert. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, because as much as and like what we've been on here for like almost 2 hours, it feels like, no, it's like an hour and a half, but like as much as I love to talk, I also love to just have my own space and be totally by myself and not talk to anybody. So I feel like I am a very extroverted introvert, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. See, when it comes to myself, I feel like being a creative, like most creatives can adapt to most people. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, for example, I'm creative, but I can adapt to, athletes or, just regular people or, like just being around just genuine, real people. And I personally feel like a lot of creatives can't do that. They're only comfortable around people who create, or different or whatever the case may be. I personally can be around anyone. I don't care what your background is. I don't care who you are. And I'm fine with that. That's who I am. And I love that about myself. So, that's why that's why personally, I honestly don't have any like, how can I say it? I don't have a bunch of friends who are creatives. I have about maybe 3 of them who I'm like very close to, and the rest are all like athletes and things like that. So all businessmen. And that's about it, really. But I don't really like to, you know, you know, just have a group of friends who are all like painters and like things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one big melting pot, man. And like I said, one of my goals is to put my entire family on, and just use my platform as their platform. So
yeah, no, I love it. And it's just nice to have a diverse friend group, because I feel like it really opens you up to new opportunities and abilities that if you were stuck in this box, like again, we're talking about being stuck in a box, but like if you were stuck in this box of like only hanging out with that Compton, how dare you? No, I'm kidding.
Off right now.
You probably have another friend coming.
Yeah, I got more friends coming probably.
Don't even worry. No, less than 5 minutes, we'll get this wrapped up so you can go enjoy your evening. But no, I think like if you were only to hang out with athletes, you would only have that mentality and you wouldn't be able to see things in a different light. Right. If you were only friends with creatives or only friends that are like, bookworms, like you need to have that diversity in your life in so many different areas. So, and like, I think it's dope that you don't just like constrict yourself to hanging out with one group. Like you need to have that to be a well-rounded person. So keep doing that, man. So so we're going to wrap this up so you can hang out with Tall Friend, Compton, your fiance, anybody else that might be rolling through tonight. But before we get going, and I'm going to keep you on here just for a minute after I end this, but drop your social handles so people know where to find you, your website, make sure to check you out. Yeah.
So you can find me at Sean, that's SEAN, .sk.Kinsey, KINSEY. So Sean Kinsey, basically. Just type that in, pops right up. Sean Kinsey. My website, SeanKinseyArt.com, SEANKINSEY art.com. And email will be on there. So for any business inquiries, my email information is all in the bio. So that's about it.
Awesome. Now that I've learned so much more about you, I just want to get back to the first thing I asked you at the beginning of this. Can I get your social security number?
Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm just kidding.
8, 9, 10.
I'm just kidding. No, I had to fuck with you because you were like, what? So awesome. Sean, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. And we got to get you back on part 2 once those
Yeah,
projects have been
yes, all
completed so we
for
can
it.
talk about them. So
All for it.
awesome.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
man.
much,
I
Kinsey.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.